I'm Stockton Rush, and I was the pilot today on a dive to look at trawl sites off of Friday Harbor. This is Cyclops 1. I'll just take you around and tell you a little bit about what you see on the exterior here.
Who owns and operates the Titan sub? The Titan is operated by OceanGate Expeditions, a Washington-based private company that offers chartered deep-sea exploration for commercial and scientific purposes. The company has also become known for leading deep-sea tourism trips. Its first trips to the Titanic were in 2021 and 2022, and OceanGate has said it would return to the shipwreck annually to survey its decay. OceanGate has led more than a dozen underwater trips, including to shipwrecks like the Andrea Doria, which lies up to 240 feet underwater near Nantucket. It has 3 5-person submersibles in its fleet: Antipodes, Cyclops 1, and Titan. While Antipodes and Cyclops 1 can travel just 1,000 and 1,640 feet below the surface, respectively, OceanGate says the Titan is designed to go 4,000 meters, or 13,123 feet deep, just enough to reach the Titanic wreckage, which lies about 12,500 feet down. That seems uncomfortably close to the vessel's maximum depth. OceanGate has for years faced criticism from experts about Titan safety. David Lockridge, who was an OceanGate employee from 2016 to 2018, warned about the thickness of the Titan's hull and the potential dangers to passengers of the Titan as the submersible reached extreme depths in a 2018 report. Lockridge later said in a court filing that he was wrongly terminated after raising these concerns. More than 36 experts subsequently sent a letter to OceanGate CEO Rush, saying that the experimental approach adopted by the company could result in negative outcomes, from minor to catastrophic. OceanGate offered a response of sorts in a 2019 blog post that explained why the company had decided not to class the Titan, that is, get an independent group to evaluate whether a series of standards, including on safety, have been met, which is the industry norm. OceanGate argued that innovation often falls outside of the existing industry paradigm, and that by itself, classing is not sufficient to ensure safety. The missing submersible was run by a video game controller.
Is there are 2 dead man switches. You have to press one of these buttons and now it's ready to go. And then if you want to go forward, you do this. If you want to go back, you do this. This is left. This is turn right. This is go down. This is go up. It's that simple. So today's dive mission starts like a lot of them. It's the day before. There's a lot of planning related to determining the location, the currents, the preparation of the sub, pre-dive inspections on the stub. Then we tow it out to the location, and in this case we had our 4 researchers on board for the 1-hour tow to the site. We then the whole platform sunk underwater, sits 20 feet underwater, suspended lightly on some buoys, and then the sub took off and went to the seafloor. And we landed at about 60 meters, 180 feet or so, and started to head out to look and see if there was evidence of areas where they have trawled to pick up scientific samples over the years, and also to see what were inland.
A desperate search is on after a submersible on a deep-sea expedition to the Titanic wreckage went missing with 5 people on board this week. The submersible, called the Titan, is controlled by what the company's CEO referred to as a video game controller, a fact that raised questions about the vitality of the sub and viability of its hardware. In 2022, when CBS News correspondent David Pogue took a trip inside OceanGate's one-of-a-kind carbon fiber submersible, Stockton Rush, CEO of OceanGate, held up the handheld device, saying, "We run the whole thing with this game controller." It's unclear if the device, which resembles the widely available Logitech F710 wireless gigabit, had been modified or customized. It is also unclear if OceanGate, which coordinates such expeditions, was still using the video game controller on the submersible for the recent trip, during which Rush was the operator. The missing submersible is different from other deep-sea vessels in that it is the only 5-person sub in the world that can reach Titanic depths approximately 13,000 feet, nearly 2.5 miles below the ocean surface. Is there a chance Titan has made it to the surface and we don't know it yet? That's possible. Titan has a series of redundant safety measures that would allow it to dump its ballast and return to surface automatically if there is a system failure or if the pilot is incapacitated. But making it to the surface isn't enough because there's no hatch. Passengers would still be reliant on 96 hours of air the ship had when it first headed to the site until a rescue crew could unbolt the craft and get them out. Aerial search and rescue is patrolling the waters around the site, but they are looking for an object the size of a minivan across an expanse of ocean, and detection may be marred by weather conditions. Banging sounds heard during Titan sub-search. Banging sounds have been heard during the search for a missing submersible, U.S. media outlets have reported, citing an internal government memo. The reports by media outlets including CNN come as rescuers scour the remote North Atlantic for a third day, racing against time to find the submersible after it disappeared while taking wealthy tourists to see the wreckage of the Titanic in deep waters off Canada's coast. The 6-meter Titan submersible has the capacity to stay underwater for 96 hours, according to its specifications, giving the 5 people aboard until early on Thursday, before air runs out. Captain Jamie Frederick of the U.S. Coast Guard told reporters at a press conference on Tuesday there were about 40 hours of breathable air left aboard the submersible. 1 pilot and 4 passengers were inside the miniature sub early on Sunday when it lost communication with a parent ship on the surface about an hour and 45 minutes into its 2-hour dive. As Canadian and U.S. authorities stepped up the search, previous questions about the safety design and development of the submersible by its owner, U.S.-based OceanGate Expeditions, came to light. The Titanic site is about 1,450 kilometers east of Cape Cod and 644 kilometers south of St. John's, Newfoundland. U.S. and Canadian aircraft have searched almost 20,000 square kilometers, larger than the state of Connecticut, Frederick said. He said the Canadian military has dropped sonar buoys to listen for any sounds that might come from the Titan, and a commercial vessel with a remote-controlled deepwater submersible was also searching near the site. A French research ship carrying an autonomous deep-sea diving vessel has been dispatched at the request of the U.S. Navy and was expected to arrive at the search area Wednesday night local time, the IFRIMA Research Institute said. Those aboard the submersible, the highlight of a tourist expedition that costs US $250,000, $370,000 per person, included British billionaire Hamish Harding, 58, and Pakistani-born businessman Shahzada Dawood, 48, with his 19-year-old son Suleiman, both British citizens. The 77-year-old French explorer Paul-Henri Nargeolet and Stockton Rush, founder and CEO of the vessel's US-based operating company OceanGate, were also reported to be on board. Authorities have not confirmed the identity of any passenger. Rescuers face significant obstacles both in finding the Titan and in saving the people aboard, according to experts. If the submersible experienced an emergency in mid-dive, the pilot would likely have released weights to float back to the surface, according to Alistair Grieg, a professor of marine engineering at University College London. The submersible is sealed with bolts from the outside,